everyone, welcome to PRP Coding YouTube channel. I am Raveendran Pillai. Today I am going to discuss about the new control flow statements introduced in Angular 17. In this session, I shall explain about the new @for, @if and @switch control flow statements introduced in Angular 17. So let's start. I have created an Angular 17 project using the Angular CLI and it is opened in my VS Code editor. Here you can see that I have created two folders named models and student list. In the models folder, it contains a student interface with ID of type number, name of type string, DOB which is date of birth of type date, and total marks of type number. In the student list folder, it contains a student-list.component.html and student-list.component.ts file. Now let me open the student-list.component.ts file. This is a standalone component named student list component, and it contains an array of 5 students. Now let me open the student-list.component.html file. The students array is rendered in this HTML file using the ngFor, ngSwitch, and the ngIf Angular directives. The student records are rendered inside a table. So this table contains 5 table headings with ID, name, total marks, birthday, and feedback. Now, in the table body, here you can see that the rows are dynamically generated. For that, I have used the ngFor directive. So star ngFor equal to let student of students. So in this tr, we will be having 5 columns because we are having 5 headings here. So in the first td, student.id, then we have student.name, and then it is student.total marks. Now, the next column is based on a condition. For that, I have used the ngSwitch directive. Now, in Angular, if you want to use an ngSwitch directive or an ngIf directive inside an ngFor directive, we have to use the ng container. So here you can see that in the ng container, I have used the ngSwitch with the statement student.dob.getDay. So basically, it will get the day of the week. Okay, so it's a number. If it is 0, it's Sunday. If it is 1, it will be Monday, like that. And if there is no match found, it will be an invalid day. Now, the feedback column is also based on a condition. Here, I have used an ngIf directive. As I mentioned before, if I want to use an ngIf directive inside an ngFor directive, we have to use the ng container. So in the ng container, I have given the ngIf statement. Student.totalmarks is greater than or equal to 450. If there is a match, this will go and render this td. So it is an excellent feedback. If it is not a match, in the else, it will go to the very good. So what is this very good? This is a template reference variable. So there is a ng template with a template reference variable very good. So it will come over here and here it will go and check. In this td, there is another ngIf. The statement is students.totalmarks less than 450 and student.totalmarks greater than or equal to 400. If this is a match, go and render this. Very good. Else, needs improvement. So there is another ng template with needs improvement as a template reference variable, and it will go and render this HTML file. Now let me go and run this application. So open the terminal window and run the command npm start, enter. And here you can see that the student records is displayed in an HTML table. The birthday and the feedback is properly rendered and everything is working as expected. Now let me switch back to Visual Studio Code. The developers has to learn the syntax for how to use the ngFor directive, how to use the ngSwitch directive along with the ngSwitch case, ngSwitch default. Now when it comes to ngIf directive, they have to learn how to use the ng template, how to use the template reference variable. And there are so many constraints, like if you want to use an ngSwitch or an ngIf inside an ngFor directive, you have to use an ng container. So developers struggle a lot with ngFor, ngSwitch, and ngIf directives. To improve the developer experience, the Angular team has released the new block syntax for an optimized built-in control flow in Angular 17. That means developers no need to use ngFor, ngSwitch, or ngIf directives. So let me remove the ngFor directive from here and use the new built-in for loop introduced in Angular 17. So Here, what I'm going to do here is let me replace this with the new syntax at the rate for, I can say student of students track student.id. I will come back to this track part in a minute, and just take this curly bracket and put it, let me scroll down and put it here. That's it. So let me scroll up. So the syntax is at the rate for student of students track student.id. Now the errors are gone. So let me open my browser. So here you can see that, okay, everything is working as expected and the application is working fine. So let me switch back to Visual Studio Code. Here you can see that the new for statement is much cleaner. And here we have used a track. So let me remove this track student.id here. Immediately you got an error. At the rate for loop must have a track expression. So let me put it back. So what do you mean by track? Track is used to uniquely identify records in a collection. According to the Angular team, the new at the rate for statement uses a new diffing algorithm which pushes Angular's rendering speed to the next level. Let me replace this ngSwitch directive with the at the rate switch control flow statement. We'll say at the rate switch, and here you can put the expression as student dot dob dot, you can say get day. It's a function, and here I can put it like, we can put the cases at the rate case, it is 0, and put the td here, put it as Sunday. So let me copy this cases and paste it multiple times, and I will replace the content. Okay, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, and we can put a default statement like default, and let me put it as td, let's say invalid, invalid day. Okay, so let me switch back to my browser and see whether everything is working fine. Yes, let me refresh this page. Yes, so our switch statement is also working as expected. The new switch control flow statement looks much better compared to the ngSwitch directive syntax. So similarly, let me go and remove the ngIf directive and replace it with the new at the rate if control flow statement introduced in Angular 17. So let me close this and replace this contents. Okay, let me select and replace it with this code. Yes. So in this TD, I have used the new at the rate if, at the rate else if, at the rate else control flow statements. Now let me open the browser, and here you can see that everything is working as expected and the feedback column is updated correctly as per our new at the rate if control flow statement. The new at the rate for, at the rate switch, and at the rate if control flow statements looks very similar to JavaScript code, which makes the developers really happy. One more thing I would like to mention here is that the new built-in at the rate for loop also has a shortcut for collections with 0 items via an optional at the rate empty block. So before I do that, okay, let me change the heading. This is not old control flow. I have to say new control flows in Angular 17. I forgot to mention that when I did the at the rate for, at the rate switch, and at the rate if. Okay, so let me modify. Okay, I have modified that. Okay, so here I'm going to add an at the rate empty block here. Okay, in this empty block, I can let me put a tr. So let me say class equal to text hyphen sender, and here I'm going to put a td with a call span of 5, and let me say no records found. Okay, now let me open the browser. Here you can see that the no records found is not shown here. That's because we already have a students collection mentioned in the student list component. So let me modify that. Open VS Code, go to the student list component and remove this students collection. And now if you open your browser, this time you can see that no records found. So this is all about the @for, @switch, and @if control flow statements in Angular 17. So finally, we reached the end of this session. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next updates. Thank you.